A very good morning to all of you. Dear students, I hope you are doing well at your home. Welcome to this class of science. Dear students, today we will learn next part of the chapter crop production and management. Before introducing today's topic, let's recapitulate the key points of previous classes. Crop, plants of same kind that are grown and cultivated on a large scale at a place. Two cropping pattern, Rabi crop, Kharif crop. Agricultural practices are the activities undertaken by a farmer for cultivation of crops. Preparation of soil is the first step of agriculture, which includes plowing and leveling. Putting of good variety and healthy seeds in soil is called sowing of seeds. Manures and fertilizers are added to the soil for replenishment of nutrients. Now we have completed first three steps of agriculture. It's time to proceed further. Can you tell me what is the next agricultural practice after adding manure and fertilizers? Yes, it is irrigation. But what exactly irrigation is? Let's find out. The regular supply of water to crops at regular intervals is called irrigation. Do you know the importance of irrigation? Let's see. It is important for proper growth of plants. It is essential for germination of seeds. It protects the crop from both frost and hot air. Do you remember how the plants get water from environment? Yes, plants absorb water from the soil through their roots. In this way, plants also get minerals dissolved in the water present in soil. Now we will see the different sources through which supply of water is made. Sources of irrigation. There are various sources through which water supply for irrigation comes. Wells, tube wells, ponds, lakes, rivers, canals, dams. Dear students, do you know the difference between river and canal? You have to find out this through your own efforts. Here we can see the different sources of water for irrigation. Now it's time to provide the available water to crops. But how? There are two methods of irrigation, traditional, modern. Let's have a look at them. Traditional methods. In this, water available for irrigation is lifted up by different ways for taking it to the fields. In these methods, cattle or human labor is used. They are cheaper but less efficient. Various ways of traditional irrigation are moat, also known as pulley system. Chain pump, dhekli, rahat, also known as lever system. They were used in earlier years. However, even today, some small farms in rural areas adopt these. You can find more information on these methods from your parents and grandparents. Have an interesting talk with them. Now we will see modern irrigation methods. These are more efficient irrigation systems. These help us use water economically without wastage for agriculture. The two important ways in modern methods are sprinkler system, drip system. Sprinkler system. It mimics the phenomenon of rain. In this, the pipes carry water to central locations on the farm and sprinklers distribute the water across the fields. It is one of the most efficient irrigation methods to irrigate the uneven land for agriculture. In addition, it provides the best coverage regardless of the size of the farm. Drip system. It is the most used irrigation system these days. There are plastic pipes in rows near the crops. These pipes have holes in them through which water seeps drop by drop. It is one of the most efficient irrigation methods as it reduces water wastage in agriculture. In summer, the frequency of watering is higher. Why is it so? We have just completed the irrigation part. It's time to move for next agricultural practice. Protection from weeds. In the last class, I used a term weed. Today, I will tell you what a weed is. When we grow crop in a field, we must have noticed that there are some other plants that grows alongside the crop. These plants are actually weeds. Weeds are undesirable plants that grow naturally along with crop. Example, wild oat. When we remove weeds from the field, it is called weeding. Wait, why we are removing them? They are also plants. Are they causing any harm to our crop? Let's find out. Weeding is necessary because they compete with the crop plants for water, nutrients, space and light. In the presence of weeds, our crop plants is not getting 100% of available resources. They affect the growth of the crop. Some weeds are poisonous for animals and human beings. That's why they have to be removed from the field. But how? Weeding can be done at the time of preparation of soil before sowing of seeds. We can uproot the weeds manually by hand or we can cut them with the help of khurpi or seed drill. We can also use some chemicals to remove weeds. These chemicals are called weedicides. Manual removal of weeds is not an easy task. As I said earlier, weedicides are the chemicals used for weeding. These chemicals are sprayed in the fields to kill the weeds. They do not damage the crop. I want to ask you a question. Do weedicides have any effect on the person handling the weedicide sprayer? Yes, spraying of weedicides may affect the health of farmers. So, they should use these chemicals very carefully. They should cover their nose and mouth with a piece of cloth while spraying these chemicals. Once the crop has reached maturity, it now needs to be harvested. Yes, the next agricultural practice is harvesting. The cutting and removing of the crop from the field after maturity is called harvesting. Do you know there are some festivals celebrated in India to rejoice the occasion of harvesting of crop? Your parents and grandparents knows about these festivals. You can take a good learning point from them. Harvesting can be done manually by sickle, or it can be done by a machine called harvester. In the harvested crop, the grain seeds need to be separated from the stalk and chaff. The process is called threshing. It can be done manually or with the help of a machine called thresher. A machine called combine is used for both purposes, harvesting and threshing. This machine works as a harvester as well as a thresher. The separation of grains from the husk is called winnowing. This can be done manually or with the help of winnowing machine. Now we will see a video for better understanding of this concept. After that, I will ask you an interesting question.
Do you know the things that constitute potential threats to crops? Harsh weather, insects, pests, and what else? Weeds. That's right. Weeds are harmful plants that grow alongside the crops. Why are weeds considered to be a threat? It's because these plants too have roots which take up the nutrients from the soil and they compete for sunlight and water. This could seriously damage the crops, leaving them with little or no nutrients at all. So, how do farmers get rid of these plants? Farmers usually remove all weeds in the initial stage of soil preparation. While tilling the soil, almost all weeds are uprooted and their remains serve as humus to the soil. However, if these weeds grow after the crop is sown, they need to be removed manually. This can be done with bare hands or with medicines which kill these plants. Wait, what do I mean by medicines? Won't these medicines damage the crop? Well, these are known as weedicides and are designed to only kill weeds. These chemicals are diluted using water and then spread over the farms. Farmers also use implements like a khurpi or a seed drill to uproot weeds. Now tell me, can weeds be removed anytime? Or should we destroy them before a particular time? Yes, weeds should be uprooted before they produce flowers and seeds. Weedicides too should be sprayed before they flower. But extreme caution must be maintained while spraying these chemicals. Can you guess why? Well, these chemicals can prove harmful even to the farmers. And that is why you see farmers covering their nose and mouths with a piece of cloth while spraying these chemicals. Now that you've studied about crop protection against weeds, let us study the second last stage of crop production. The stage where the crop has matured after a span of 3 to 4 months. It's the harvest time. And what does it exactly mean? Harvest the crop simply means to cut the crop after it has matured. Do you think it's as easy as it sounds? Of course not. Harvesting of crops, if done manually, is done with a sickle. If a machine is used to harvest crops, it is usually the harvester. Crops are either pulled out or cut close to the ground. Once the crop is harvested, it needs to be threshed. What do I mean by threshed? The grains need to be separated from the stalks. Threshing is the next step after harvesting and is carried out manually. However, even machines called threshers are employed for this nowadays. In certain cases, farmers use a combination of harvester and thresher, a machine called combine. The machinery can carry out the process of harvesting and threshing together. Threshing is usually the beating of stalks on a surface that separates the grains from the stalks. Now the grains have yet another covering before they can be finally stored. That is the chaff. Chaff is then separated by a process called winnowing. In this process, small farmers manually separate the chaff from grains with the help of the wind. Grains are dropped down from a height and the wind carries away the chaff while the grains, being heavier, get collected into a heap. So, with the 3 processes of harvesting, threshing and winnowing, grains are now ready for storage.
Now you have to tell me the best time for removal of weeds. When should we remove the weeds from the field? Last year, our government lost several tons of wheat due to improper storage. Crop wastage is a real problem that India faces. To safeguard against this, farmers must protect their crops and employ techniques for storage of crops. It is essential to store harvested grains to prevent its spoilage from moisture, insects, rats and microorganisms. Before storage, the grains should be dried properly in the sun. Excess moisture in the crops promotes the growth of microorganisms and can cause huge loss. Moisture may also germinate the stored seeds, which has to be avoided. Drying of seeds in sun reduces the moisture present in grains. Farmers store grains in jute bags or metallic bins. Large-scale storage of grains is done in silos and granaries to protect them from pests like rats and insects. As we all know that plants and animals are major sources of food. Food is also obtained from animals. What do we get from animals? Let's see. When such animals are reared on a large scale for food production, it is called animal husbandry. Now you have to tell me why dried neem leaves are used for storage of food grains at home? You can take help of your parents for answering this question. It's time for you to note down the key points. What have we learned today? Supply of water to crops at appropriate intervals is called irrigation. The various sources of irrigation are wells, tube wells, canals, rivers, dams and ponds. The traditional methods of irrigation are moat, rahat, chain pump and dhekli. The modern methods of irrigation includes sprinkler and drip system. Weeds are the undesirable plants that grow naturally along with the crop. The removal of weeds is called weeding. It can be done manually or with the use of weedicides. Harvesting is the cutting of mature crop manually or by the machines. Separation of the grains from the stalk and chaff is called threshing. Proper storage of grains is necessary to protect them from microorganisms and pests. Food is also obtained from animals, for which animals are reared. It is called animal husbandry. Time to note down your home assignment. Question number 1. What is irrigation? Describe two methods of irrigation which conserve water. Question number 2. What are weeds? How can we control them? Question number 3. Write a short note on Part 1. Threshing, Part 2. Storage of grains, Part 3. Animal husbandry. Question number 4. Make a flow chart of all agricultural practices involved in crop production and management. Dear students, today we have completed our first chapter, Crop Production and Management. I hope you have enjoyed all lessons with me. Stay at home, stay healthy. Thank you and have a nice day.